The boy's voice cut through the marble lobby like a soft crack in glass. "I'll translate it for $500. The millionaire laughed before he even turned around. The sound echoed. Polite. Dismissive. Security shifted their weight. A fountain whispered nearby. The boy didn't laugh back. He just stood there, holding a thin envelope with shaking hands. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley, and tell me where you're watching from. The lobby belonged to wealth. Tall windows. Sunlight sliding over polished stone. Men in dark suits spoke in quiet confidence. Screens showed stock prices climbing. And there stood the boy. Maybe 16. Worn sneakers. A jacket too thin for winter. Eyes steady, though his shoulders were tight. The millionaire finally looked at him. Silver hair. Watch worth more than the boy's life so far. Translate what? He asked, amused. The boy lifted the envelope slightly. This letter. It's in Dari. A pause. The laughter faded, but the smile stayed. You think I'd pay you $500 for that? The man said calmly. The boy swallowed. Yes. The word didn't beg. It didn't shake. That was what made it strange. People nearby pretended not to listen. But they did. The air grew thinner. The letter had arrived that morning. No return address. Handwritten. Foreign stamps. The millionaire had tossed it aside. Another plea. Another distant problem. He had built an empire by ignoring noise. But now the noise stood in front of him. Why you? The man asked. The boy looked down at the envelope, then back up. Because I understand it, he said. And because it matters. A quiet scoff rippled through the suits. Security took a step closer. The millionaire leaned back slightly, studying him like a puzzle he didn't care to solve. Translate one line, he said. Free. Then we'll see. The boy shook his head. Not one line. All of it. Or nothing. That earned another laugh. Sharper this time. The boy's fingers tightened around the envelope. At around 20 seconds in, if this moment is making you feel something, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. These stories only live if you do. The millionaire sighed, as if indulging a child. Fine, he said. 500. If you're lying, you leave. Quietly. A nod. The boy didn't smile. They sat at a side table near the windows. Sunlight fell across the envelope like a warning. The boy opened it carefully, as if it could bruise. He began to read. Slowly. Translating as he went. This letter is written by a man named Hassan, the boy said. He is a former interpreter. The millionaire's posture changed. Just slightly. He writes from a village near the mountains. He says he worked with foreign contractors. With your logistics firm. 15 years ago. Silence pressed down. He says your company promised relocation. Safety. Documents. The boy's voice stayed level. He says the promises never came. A flicker crossed the man's eyes. Annoyance. Then dismissal. Keep going, he said. The boy breathed in. He says his brother was killed for helping. His house was burned. He fled with his daughter. The lobby seemed farther away now. The fountain sounded louder. He writes that his daughter is sick. That hospitals won't treat her without papers. The boy hesitated. Just for a beat. He writes that he has run out of places to beg. The millionaire folded his hands. Many stories ended there. He knew that. The boy continued. He says he does not ask for money. He asks for truth. The boy looked up. He asks if you remember him. The man's jaw tightened. There is a name signed at the bottom, the boy said. Hassan Rahimi. Interpreter ID 417. The millionaire froze. Not dramatically. Not loudly. Just, still. The watch on his wrist caught the light. Years ago, that number had crossed his desk. A meeting. A rushed decision. A cost-saving measure buried in reports. The boy waited. You translated this before, the man said quietly. Yes. For who? For myself, the boy replied. He's my father. The lobby disappeared. The millionaire stared at him now, really stared. The jacket. The eyes. The restraint. Why 500? He asked. The boy's answer came soft. That's what it cost him to send the letter. A long silence followed. Not the awkward kind. The honest kind. The millionaire stood. Slowly. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. Then stopped. No, he said. Not like this. He looked at the boy. I laughed because I thought power lived with me, he said. His voice was low. Bear. He took out his wallet instead. Placed it on the table. Not just 500. More. Then he did something rarer. He bowed his head. I remember him, he said. And I failed him. The boy didn't cry. He didn't smile. He nodded once. The millionaire called his assistant. His lawyers. His foundation director. Not urgently. Carefully. As if each word was a repair. Papers would be filed. Records reopened. Names restored. Not charity. Accountability. As the boy stood to leave, the man spoke again. Will you stay? He asked. Help us translate the rest. Properly. The boy paused at the edge of the sunlight. I will, he said. If it's done right. The millionaire nodded. It will be. The lobby returned to life. Shoes moved. Phones rang. But something had shifted. At the end, if this story moved you, like, comment, share your Kindness Valley thoughts below, and subscribe for more untold stories. Sometimes the greatest power isn't in the money you hold, but in the truth you were brave enough to carry, quietly, until someone finally listened.